the mystic who charted the architecture of God's consciousness. Before Isaac Luria transformed Kabbalah, Moses Cordovero, 1522–1570, laid down its philosophical foundations with a sweeping vision of divine unity. Living in the mystical city of Sefirot, Cordovero sought to answer one profound question: how does the infinite become the finite? How can the absolute, infinite, formless reality we call God give rise to a universe of multiplicity, structure, and consciousness? His answer was the Tree of Life, a map of 10 divine emanations, or Sefirot, representing stages of God's consciousness unfolding into existence. For Cordovero, creation was not an explosion in time. It was a gradual emanation of divine awareness, flowing from infinite simplicity to the complexity of our lived world. The Sefirot are not symbols. They are the fundamental processes by which the universe comes into being, the architecture of reality itself. In modern terms, this system resembles theories of cosmic information fields, holographic reality, and consciousness as a fundamental dimension of existence. Cordovero's teachings reveal a universe built not from matter, but from the self-expression of God's mind, a living, intelligent, multidimensional field. Cordovero begins with the deepest mystery of all: Ein Sof, the infinite. God in his essence is beyond attributes, beyond form, beyond all comprehension. Pure unity, pure being, pure consciousness without differentiation. But if God is infinite and undivided, how can the finite world exist? How can multiplicity arise from unity? How can the limited emerge from the limitless? Cordovero's answer is that creation is not a rupture nor a separation, but an emanation, a flowing out of divine awareness, like light radiating from a flame. The infinite does not diminish by giving rise to the finite, just as a candle loses nothing when it lights another. Emanation is the process by which divine consciousness shapes itself into 10 distinct modes of expression. These 10 Sefirot are not parts of God, but phases of God's self-disclosure, shifting from pure infinity to structured existence. They form the bridge between the ungraspable Ein Sof and the world of space, time, and consciousness. In this system, the universe is not separate from God. It is the unfolding of God. The Tree of Life is Cordovero's blueprint of how God's consciousness manifests. Each of the 10 Sefirot is a dimension of divine mind, a principle that shapes both spiritual and physical reality. Keter, crown, pure will, the spark of divine intention. Chokmah, wisdom, the flash of inspiration, primordial insight. Binah, understanding. Structure, the shaping of insight into form. Chesed, loving kindness. Expansion, the impulse to give and create. Devorah, restraint. Contraction, boundaries, precision, power. Tiferet, beauty. Harmony, the balance of giving and receiving. Netzach, endurance. Dynamic force, momentum, evolution. Hod, splendor. Reflection, language, symbolism, structure. Yesod, foundation. Integration, a channel through which divine flow enters creation. Malkut, kingdom. Manifestation, the world of form, the physical universe. For Cordovero, these are not abstract metaphors. They are the inner mechanics of God's mind, the living circuitry through which consciousness becomes reality. Modern physics speaks of information fields, symmetry breaking, and multidimensional layers of reality. Cordovero anticipated something eerily similar: the idea that creation is a structured unfolding of intelligence, not a random accident. Cordovero described the Sefirot as interconnected, interpenetrating dimensions, each containing the whole within itself, like a hologram. Every Sephirah reflects all the others, just as every part of a hologram contains the structure of the entire image. This is one of the most remarkable anticipations in mystical thought. the idea that the universe is holographic, that each part includes the whole, and the whole is encoded in every part. In modern cosmology, this resonates with the holographic principle, where the information of the universe is encoded across multidimensional surfaces. In consciousness studies, it mirrors the idea that the mind is fractal, recursive, and self-similar at every scale. For Cordovero, the tree of life is not a diagram of heaven, but a map of reality itself, a layered, multi-dimensional field of divine intelligence. Creation is not built from the outside. It unfolds from the inside like a thought becoming an idea becoming form, and form becoming world. The macrocosm and microcosm reflect each other because both arise from the same source, the divine mind manifesting in different scales and densities. Cordovero taught that the Sefirot are not merely cosmic processes, they are mirrored within the human soul. Our consciousness evolves through the same stages as the divine emanations. We begin in Keta, the spark of intention. We experience Chokmah, flashes of insight. Through Bina, we shape insight into clarity. Through Chesed, we expand outward in love. Through Devorah, we refine ourselves with discipline. Through Tiferet, we achieve harmony and compassion. Through Netzach and Hod, we act, express, and create. Through Yesod, we integrate our inner world into outward expression. Through Malkut, we manifest the fullness of our being into the world. In this sense, the tree of life is not only a cosmological map, it is a diagram of human consciousness, a guide for awakening. The soul becomes a living microcosm of divine intelligence. Our growth, our awakening, our moral development, all follow the architecture of God's mind. For Cordovero, spirituality is not escape. It is alignment, aligning the human soul with the structure of the universe and the structure of the universe with the infinite source. Cordovero taught that creation is not a past event. It is continuous. The Sefirot act as channels of divine energy, known as Shefa, constantly flowing from the infinite into the world. Every moment of existence is a new emanation of divine consciousness. The universe is being created right now at every instant. This flow gives the world meaning and coherence. If the flow weakens in a person, confusion and distortion arise. If it strengthens, clarity, alignment, and awakening emerge. Cordovero saw morality, spirituality, and consciousness as states of attunement to divine flow. The more we align with the harmony of the Sefirot, the more Shefa moves through us, elevating the sparks within our lives. Everything, ethics, creativity, love, justice, intuition, is a form of divine energy flowing through the channels of existence. This vision resonates with modern ideas about information and energy fields shaping reality, a universe not powered by matter, but by conscious flow, structured by the same principles encoded in the tree of life. In Cordovero's grand vision, the universe is not separate from God. It is the self-unfolding of God's consciousness into a structured, dynamic, evolving reality. The 10 Sefirot are the architecture of this unfolding, the pathways through which infinity becomes experience. Everything in existence, from galaxies to human thoughts, participates in this architecture. The cosmos is a living expression of intelligence. The human mind is a reflection of divine mind. The structure of reality is the structure of consciousness itself, and the tree of life is the map that reveals this unity. Through Cordovero's eyes, the universe becomes a sacred hologram where every point reflects the whole. The outer world mirrors the inner. The physical mirrors the spiritual. The finite mirrors the infinite. Creation becomes a cosmic meditation, God contemplating himself through the world, and the world awakening to itself through consciousness. In this system, spirituality is not belief. It is participation, aligning our awareness with the structure of God's mind and becoming conscious channels through which divine reality flows into the world. I see messages all the time in the comments section that some of you didn't realize you didn't subscribe. So, if you could do me a favor and double-check if you're a subscriber to this channel, that would be tremendously appreciated. It's the free thing that anybody that watches this show can do to help us here, to keep everything going. So, please double-check if you've subscribed, and thank you so much, because in a strange way, you are part of our history and you are on this journey with us, and I really appreciate you for that. So yeah, thank you for being here.